What is going on, my friends? Today I want to talk about how you can become a better shooter in NBA 2K25. I'm really just going to show you the process that I did to be a better shooter. It does take some time, maybe. I'm not saying I'm a good shooter, but I am saying that to get to a point in the game where I feel like I can shoot with the utmost confidence, I did a couple things to really practice my jump shot, practice the different ways that I will shoot a jumper in a game. Both on my 6'2" that I'll show you right now and my 6'6", or just taller builds in general that I will show you in a moment. But first, it all starts with the old jump shot, my friends. Let's go to our jump shot creator. So a couple things go into this. So this is the jump shot that I use for my guard. Don't worry about, I mean, obviously the blending and the base, that's all obvious. If you're not using Patty Mills base as a small guard, I really don't know what you're doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very sorry to be that person for you, but you first got to really think about, what do you want your cue to be? Push, release, what do you want that to be? That's really where you start. Push, you really are waiting right before your hand starts to flick. You're looking at your wrist, or like what I did, you can do release and kind of just mess around with it. For me, I didn't pick a jumper and was like, all right, I'm going to practice this jump shot until I get it right. Like, I'm going to practice a jumper and then see, like, am I shooting slightly earlys? Am I shooting slightly lates? And then adjust the push to release timing, or excuse me, visual cue, as I go. That's really how I came to this. I wanted to use Patty Mills base. I saw someone use the Oscar Robertson, Colin Sexton blending. It's actually the same blending that I used last year when I tried Patty Mills base. And so I just messed around with push. I was releasing it way too early, so I just start moving it and moving it and moving it and moving it. And then by the time I really start feeling like I noticed like I could green this a lot, was right here. So that's the first thing that you got to figure out. The second thing would be release speed. How fast do you want your jumper to be? Obviously, for someone like me that's playing in, pro-am leagues and just trying to get the best content out that I possibly can, best gameplays, I want to be the fastest release. I don't want to have an excuse of why I didn't get a jump shot off. And I definitely don't want my excuse to be, hey, my jump shot is slow. So release speed is all the way. The lower your release speed goes, right? So as you can see, the timing stability in the lower right does change, but the release height and speed, or all that good stuff right there, doesn't. So, if you're someone that values the timing stability, if you'd rather have a C plus than a C minus, then that's when that would come into effect there. But that's probably the most important part as well, is the release speed. Like, how fast do you really want it? Are you going to be okay with it being a little slower? Not going to be able to get it off as much potentially? That's up to you. But those are the first two things that you really need to look at. Seems kind of obvious, but when I play in random rec, there's a ton of people that can't hit a jump shot. So that'd be the first one. The second thing, you got to get your animations right. So for someone like me, I do take a lot of pull-ups. So Pro 2 dribble pull-up makes sense. The other ones that you could use, Devin Booker is cool. Steph Curry is not bad. I don't like Kyrie, I'm gonna be honest with you, but it really, Cam Thomas is pretty nice. Trae Young was pretty good too, but you got to be using Pro 2. That's very, very important. Obviously, you got to make sure that your animations are good. So these are all of my animations if you want to copy and paste, brother. But the other thing, as a short guard, you got to master, your dribble moves. All right. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to want to learn how to quick stop. So when I quick stop, I'm just now learning this, to be honest with you. I flick the opposite of where the ball is. So if I'm going to my left, I'm going to flick to the right and I'm going to stop pretty quick. It's not like really, really fast. Like it definitely, last year you could just like take your finger off of the left stick, but that's not fast enough for me, to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm trying to get my shot off as quickly as I can. So that's the one thing that I would do as a small guard. You can obviously master the quick stop on a big guard, and I'll talk about that when I get there. But for the most part, being a small guard, like Patty Mills jump shot is very fast. You might have a screen right here, do a little shammy sham behind the back, and then all of a sudden you get hit on the screen, come off of it, quick stop. Like, it's pretty smooth, pretty simple. like I said, ball's in your left hand. Let's say you're going to the left, flick to the right just a little bit. Well, that time I dribbled, but you're gonna go to the left, flick, stop. Pretty smooth, to be honest with you. I didn't want to learn this because I thought it was too hard, but it's really not that bad. So you pretty much just want to, if you're going to the right, it's the same thing. You're going to flick like diagonal up left. I wish I had like a hand cam, but pretty easy to learn there. And honestly, I just sat in this arena, my court, and just practiced it. I'm also trying to get to vet 3, so when I have time, I am going into starting 5 and just running screen and rolls to the ground. I'll be the Spurs and have Wembanyama. I'll be the Nuggets and have Jokic, or you know what I'm saying? Just like think of like massive centers in the NBA to get you a ball screen, and you're pretty much wide open. Unless you play the Celtics, then you got to figure out how to get around Drew Holiday, which happens a lot. But that's the quick stop tutorial on a small guard. The other one would be, you know, your fade. So Pro 2, I understand that if I'm going straight right, it's gonna have like that lefty, not that one. That's a front fade. I understand that it's gonna have a like leg kick right there, like that right leg kick, right? And I know that. So I'm kind of watching that and seeing when that's gonna happen. And then obviously sometimes you get a front fade on accident, and that's just a nice little lean in, and you just got to get used to the timing for that. So literally just going around, fading nonstop, learning the cue, learning when to release it. I can't really explain when to release it because that comes with everything. Like that comes with your visual cue, that comes with your jump shot release, that comes with your everything. So it's like, this is just going to be a feel thing. Like, keep practicing it, figure out when exactly it activates, when it doesn't. I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, okay, if I accidentally do a front fade like I've done before, I understand, like, okay, I know what that's going to look like. I know what that feels like, because I can feel it in my left stick. Sounds really crazy, but I promise you it makes sense perfectly. And yeah, that's pretty much that. I'm going to get on my big guard build and show you what I use animations wise for that. And then we can kind of break down everything there. All right, and the same thing goes for tall guard build. So I'm going to go to my animations. I'm going to go over to my jump shot. What am I even using these days? T-Mac. T-Mac base. I do use push for this one. So that would be the difference here. Probably need to work on that because my defensive immunity is only a B+. But this is what I've been running around with for a little bit now. It doesn't feel too bad. I haven't used this build in a while, so this might be interesting. But I use push on this one. Like I said, visual cue is important. You know, my guard is all the way up by release, and for whatever reason on my 6'6", it's near push. That's just what I'm comfortable with. Oscar Robertson 28% and Julian Champagne 22%. Obviously full release speed as always. And then again, dribble pull up. I would worry more about your dribble pull up on a taller build because the middies that you can get at a taller height is unbelievable. Short guard is good because you get Pro 2. I don't like the way Pro 2 feels on a 6'6". So I want something that's going to make me fly above my defender. Like I'm going to jump above him essentially. Like right here, that's hard to contest. It's slow and it looks crazy, but the defender that is guarding me, that one right there is nice. Nasty, excuse me. The nice part about the contest system this year is like they have to completely jump and sell out to get like a decent contest. I can do this all day. I can shoot 20 of these and hit 5 weeks, like if I'm locked in, you know what I'm saying? So like I said before, master this. What does it feel like going left to right? Going left is fishy for me. Like I accidentally like end up by the 3-point line. I hate that. But you can also work on quick stops on a taller guard. Well, as you can see, it's not nearly as good. That's why for the guard, I would master a quick stop because you're going to be shooting more threes as a guard. 99.3, you're going to want to use that to the fullest. On a bigger build, you're definitely going to have a 99 midi over a 99.3. It's not even possible to have a 99.3 on a 6'6". So you could try to learn a quick stop. Like you still have a I have a 94.3 on this build, so it's like definitely can learn to quick stop. It just the dribbling isn't as good. That's kind of where like it's just a little slower. But I think that's all I really got to talk about today. broke down what goes into actually being I'll talk about this actually. On a taller build, you're probably gonna be doing a lot more catch and shoot. So when I'm catch and shooting, I hold LT. LT kind of puts you, and you're not gonna be able to see it right here, but like if I'm running like this, there's no LT, right? But if I go like this and LT, like I all of a sudden get flat. You see that? Let me try that again. Wait. So here's no LT here. I'm running. I get open. Well, that time it really wasn't that bad. Let me see if it looks any different here. It doesn't. I think it's because it's in my court. But in a game, you can hold LT and just get your feet set a lot quicker instead of relying on that pass to kind of just put you in a good position. It gets you low. Like, it's kind of like in real basketball. Like, if you're low, knees bent, you're ready to shoot. It's essentially the same thing in 2K, as weird as that sounds. I do that all the time, no matter which build I do, or no matter which build I use, whether it's my 6'4", or my 6'6", my 6'4" speed demon in park. Like, I'm always running around decks and then holding LT and shooting the ball. The other thing I do want to talk about too is off ball movement. So that's another way you can be a really good shooter. You can always dex, right, like this, but what I'm learning is that if I go right, double tap turbo, go left, look at that speed boost I get. It's kind of nasty. So I go right, double tap turbo when I go to my left, and it gives me a nice little speed boost. This has changed dexing. I mean, the fact that it's taken me 8 months, maybe it's always been a thing in 2K, so maybe it's taken me 8 years to figure this out. But going one way, stop, turbo boost, like, that's impossible to guard. So the best way to get better at all of this is to get into my court. Honestly, get into starting 5, because that way you can literally just spam the pass. I wouldn't work on this stuff in rec, just because, like, people go into random rec with an agenda. Obviously, if you're in rec and you're running with your crew, with your boys or girls, you can, you know what I'm saying, you can do it then. But for the most part, I would go into my court and just work on this stuff. You know, what animations do I get when I do this, or when I fade this way, what does it feel like? Those are just kind of the things that I would look into. Another yap session from me. So if you guys like this kind of video, please leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. I got to get back on my grind. I miss making content, so I'm doing my best to get as many videos out as possible in the week, so every week. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Let's get better at shooting. Goodbye. Peace.